Hey everybody, how's it going? I just wanted to make this video. I had an idea for maybe an ongoing set of videos for you folks here in the Vagrants. And it's basically, because we all like deals, right? We all like cheap tapes. We all like good movies, I think. Or cheap movies, but this will be about tapes mostly. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about a movie I was reminded of today. I was just out thrifting where I live in Milwaukee. There's actually stuff open today, which was cool. And so I was looking through some stuff, and on the clearance shelf at Half Price Books, and I actually own a copy of this too, but there was a copy of it for $1. And so I wanted to talk about this movie and kind of the tape, I guess, sort of by proxy. But anyways, the movie I wanted to talk about today is Enemy Mine. And this is basically like, and I'm jumping around a little bit here, but basically this is like I want to make a video every once in a while about movies that should be expensive, tapes that should be expensive, but aren't. And I kind of feel like this is one that people don't talk about ever, but they should, because it's actually a really fucking fun movie. And I think that if more people, like, I don't know, if more people had watched cable in the 1990s, or God forbid the late 80s, and I'm kind of dating myself here, aging myself here, but if more people had, I think they would have seen this flick. Or maybe people don't like it, but I think you should. So anyways, I'll talk a little bit about Enemy Mine. This is not an expensive tape. Don't pay more than like $5 for it, and I'm talking like $5 like in mint condition. Okay, I think there's like a shitty budget release of this too, like maybe a movie time one or something. But basically this is a really fun 80s PG-13. So you know how like 80s PG is like basically like our PG-13 now. Well, like 80s PG-13 is pretty much like our R-rated movies now. And so it's kind of violent, and it kind of tells the line between like a fantasy film and like a sci-fi, like sort of like action sci-fi movie, but it's also got kind of like a family drama, a kid, like almost like a fantasy film kid element to it. It's kind of hard to describe, but basically it's got Dennis Quaid, and it's got fucking Gossett Jr., who I don't even know if there's any reference for him for people under the age of like 30, but I don't know. Go watch the Iron Eagle movies, or go watch the 80s Dolph Lundgren Punisher, because Gossett's in those. That's maybe where you'd know him from. Or there's another movie I'll talk about in probably my next video that has Gossett Jr. in it as well. But so basically, and Brion James is in this too. I don't know if you know who Brion James is. You should know who Brion James is. He's in Crime Wave. He's in fucking, I mean, he's in fucking Cabin Boy. He's in a ton of cool shit. I think he was the main villain in fucking House 3 or Horror Show. A lot of shit. He's in Southern Comfort. Anyways, doesn't matter. So basically the story is fucking Dennis Quaid is this like, fucking like soldier on a spaceship out, like, it's like the fucking Earth, it's like humans. It's like fucking in an Earth origin spaceship. And then Gossett Jr. is an alien, and he's from an alien race called the Dracons, I think, but they call them Dracs for short. Anyways, so long story short, these two are fucking fighting in their starships out in the middle of the fucking universe, and they both crash land on this same planet. And basically they end up like they're gonna like kill each other, at first, because they're like mortal enemies. Like the Dracs fucking hate humans. Gossett Jr. does a really good job, honestly, acting in this. Like, surprisingly, he does a really good job as like a fucking mean alien. And anyways, but then they realize, oh hey, this fucking planet's like pretty fucked up, and if we're gonna survive, we're gonna have to like work together. So, like, I don't even remember. I think fucking Dennis Quaid ends up teaching fucking Gossett Jr. How to speak English, and then he ends up teaching him how to speak Drac. And so there's some the planet's cool. There's like cool creatures and cool creature effects on this planet. Like, they're not like giant ones, but they're there. And there's like also like it's like a weird like prison planet too. Like, so that element comes into play, and Brion James is like the main bad guy, I think. It's been a couple years since I watched it, but anyways, he's in it for sure as an asshole. So you should definitely check it out. Now, there's something funny about this movie that makes me laugh just because it's so weird. And it's kind of a spoiler, so if you don't want to know about it, then fucking turn the video off here and just go find a copy of Enemy Mine and watch it. But so otherwise, if you just want to know, like, so Dracs apparently, like, the Drac males give birth in their species, or maybe they all do, I don't know. And anyways, so it ends up that Louis Gossett Jr. gets pregnant, but it's never really, I mean, like, they end up, like, living on this planet for a long time during, like, whatever winter this planet has, and they're cooped up in this small space. Now, I don't know if these two get it on or not. It's not really discussed, and it's not really implied. He just ends up telling fucking dude that he's pregnant, which is something. And then it gets a little funny, like, just like it almost turns into like a Little House on the Prairie, fucking like in space kind of thing for a minute, which is kind of cutesy. But yeah, and then from there it kind of turns into like a sad movie because some stuff happens to Louis Gossett Jr. I won't go into that, but because you should, I don't want to spoil everything. But it ends up being kind of a feel-good movie, but at the same time, it's like I said, like a rough sort of like sci-fi action, fucking. It kind of traverses in multiple genres, and so I think this movie's worth a watch. Maybe you watch it once and whatever, but it ends up being like a really, really good kind of heartfelt sci-fi action kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. So anyways, go buy Enemy Mine, go buy fucking, go watch it. And Dennis Quaid, like, I don't even know, I don't know, people fucking under the age of 35, 30, whatever, probably don't even know who Dennis Quaid is anymore. I have no idea. There's no reference in modern culture for either of these people. And Brion James is dead. They're both still alive, but Brion James died, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. So it's kind of like whatever. But just, go check this out. This was a mainstay on cable in the city where I grew up, on channel Super 18, if anyone else is from Milwaukee. And I used to watch this thing, like, it was on like every weekend, and I would watch it like every week, along with like The Pit, and like, because The Pit was made not too far from me, and so like a bunch of million other movies. And that's how I got my start watching like horror and action and shit like that. Anyways, go watch this movie, enjoy it. If you could tell me if you hate it. I'm sorry in advance, but don't spend more than $5 on it. All right, Vags, have a good one. I can't show you any shirtless shit. I'm just not going to. But here's, because I'm fat right now, kind of. I'm not fat shaming myself. I'm just saying whatever. But here's some boobs for you. All right, peace.